Welcome to the Bar Talk Podcast. I am your host, Jordan Shatter, joined always by Andy Driscoll, and Fish is over there working the keys, heading to the bathroom, and we're joined by Nick Thatcher of Malabar Brasserie, and he moonlights at Speedwell Tavern as well.
That's right.
I've been using Moonlight a lot today.
Yeah, you have. That's like third or fourth time.
I think I don't know.
But it's the first time this episode, so it doesn't seem like a lot.
Anyway, this is your restaurant industry focus group. We're here to answer your questions, which is great because you guys have been throwing us a lot, and we appreciate that. Makes our jobs real easy. We're not experts by any means, but goddamn if we spend a lot of hours.
You can call yourself an expert, man.
I wouldn't say.
How long have you been in the restaurant business?
More than half my life.
And how old are you?
34.
So, minimum 15 years. Nick, how long have you been in the restaurant industry?
At least 15.
So
I'm
that's
not gonna
30 years of experience.
dabbled in and out, but probably about 15 to 20 years.
I mean, if that makes us an expert.
I mean,
I've been doing other shit for about 15 years.
Would you say you have logged 10,000 hours in the restaurant?
I would definitely say that.
Then you're
a week?
But that's what it could. They consider an expert. If you've done it for 10,000 hours, you're an expert.
I'd say we've 10th prestige in Call of Duty terms, right?
I don't know if I could
Close
break down. Yeah, or let's just say
Yeah.
I mean,
it doesn't sound too off.
I get it.
You said a number that sounded kind of off. I'm like, I don't know, question it, but I can't really question that.
Say 10 hours. Say I did 10-hour days, 1,000 days of 10 hours. Yeah, I think I've done that. Yeah. Absolutely.
All
right, that makes me. I'm an expert.
Yeah.
Nick, you're an expert, bro.
Yeah.
Be proud.
Fucking feels good.
Doesn't mean you can't learn more.
An expert at something.
Yeah.
Huh?
I bet you this
I've blown your mind. Jordan's just like, oh my God.
I'm mind blown.
I'm changing my business cards right now.
It's going to work a lot better than my boob inspector shirt. That never panned out, but you know.
You did that?
No.
But we are working on
thought of that one
hashtag Gluten Lives Matter shirts.
That's
Gluten
gotta
lives
work.
matter.
Gluten lives do matter. You gotta raise awareness.
What I'm not an expert in is saying people's names.
Yes,
So,
correct. Let's hear you jumble through this first name.
We will start with Nandu Awatramani.
Oh, come on! You're gonna go with a 100-mile-per-hour fastball on the first question?
Yeah.
All right, I like it. I respect it.
I can read the question. What's the solution to stop employee turnover?
You gotta treat your staff right, man. Right? I mean,
Yeah, but at the same time, there's some staff that just they don't know what the fuck time it is, man. Like they're not.
it's true.
They're just not up to snuff. They don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, this is because I worked retail. I had to run a retail crew, and is it better to have a shit employee show up opposed to no one?
Yes.
Because my argument was like,
because
they
we said
suck.
before, like you have a body. The key to like employee turnover is proper training,
Yep.
and not just like. Oh man, I don't know how to explain it. It's like you got to be personable. You just have to be really good with like just talking to people. You have to get people skills and just train them. If you have a really good trainer, the person can do that, who gets everything the point across, says things clearly, but also not don't scare the shit out of people. You know what I mean? And
Says the guy's like, I sent him for a bucket of steam.
you got me. Yeah. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of variables, but that's always been my thing. Like, you train people properly and just make them feel comfortable at least in the beginning, and then when they screw up or whatever, you follow up on the reprimanding and everything. That's fine. But I don't know.
I feel like the most important thing is that you let them know they're providing value.
True.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Because
it's
everyone's going to
people.
screw up, but
Yes.
it's the second where you kind of give them it doesn't matter if you work here. You're lucky to work here.
Yeah.
It's that kind.
There's a difference between-
That shit pisses me off,
Yeah,
actually.
it's the, hey, thanks for coming in.
Right.
Yeah.
This
Awesome.
this was
I do that.
This was a shitty day. You killed it. Without you, it would have been worse.
My mantra personally, and I've been managing for a while, kind of got thrown into it and seem to keep getting thrown into it, is I would never ask an employee to do something I wouldn't do myself, and I make sure they see me doing it.
That is very valuable,
right.
but I've also had that sort of thing blow up my face because where I worked retail, we got specific breaks, and my thing was if someone's blowing off their break to continue working, I will also do that.
Right.
And then I still had those people kind of turn on me. So it's that weird because they felt they didn't see that, they saw that they thought they weren't valuable.
Right.
And granted, some people you can never make happy.
Right.
That's just an impossibility. But if you show that you generally appreciate their work and their contribution.
I try to do that too. And I think in a town where we have a lot of restaurants and we're seeing a lot of turnover and stuff, I think we do a pretty good job at Speedwell of retaining people to the best of our ability, and attrition's going to happen. People are going to grow.
Yep.
In this industry, man, it's like that. Because there's some people who, not so much that they feel valuable, but they don't value the job itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
There are people that just do it for a paycheck.
It's just, so what can you do? It's like I said, there's variables.
It's not even just the value of the job. They might not even have any self-respect. And
yeah, like they don't.
Harsh,
there's people don't understand because in this industry, there's people that are working to make a living,
right?
Support a family, you know what I mean. And on the same line, you have kids that are coming in who they don't understand you got to work to make a living. Like they're just living at home doing whatever,
playing video games, buying
doing whatever,
cartridges,
just burning their money.
Which is fine, as long as they're working hard. I don't care what they spend their money on.
Because it's really like that. Like some people on the same level that are just like, hey,
right.
I got shit to do. I got shit to maintain.
Yeah. And everyone goes into a job with a different expectation of what they expect to get out of the job.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were talking earlier, like how you are looking to grow and gain skills.
Yeah.
Some people are like, I'm going to go to work, and on Friday I'm going to get a paycheck.
Because
that's
for a long time it was like...
That's no way to live, man.
Before I really got into cooking, I've been in it, but I was like, this is what I do. And in my mind I'm thinking, well, one day I'm going to do something else, and it's going to be great. Mm-hmm. When I finally realized, this is what I actually do, it's that's when you realize, when I started seeing people, it became more popular to be a chef, and I seen people really being creative and making it and doing it, and making a name, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I was like, oh, this isn't a dead-end job.
Why can't you do that?
Why can't I do that? Yeah. Why can't I be creative? Because I've seen people come up, be dishwashers, never go to school, and then own a business. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure, yeah.
And have a following and do great. And have something you live off.
But on the flip side...
And it's not realistic. But back when I was younger, I was like, that's not realistic.
Yeah. Right. The flip side, the guy or say the girl waiting tables who's making a living doesn't hate it, doesn't love it, doesn't want it to be their career. They make their money, they provide for their family, they go home and they build their model train, whatever fucking makes them happy.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
As long as they're showing up.
Yeah. If you show up and you pull your weight,
you know what I mean?
Good for you.
Yeah.
You maintain and you do what you got to do and you stay on track.
I think you're right, though, Andy. I think it's showing... It's the responsibility of the manager or the owner to show their employees they have value, because they do have value. And if you're not letting them know that, no one wants to show up to a job where they feel worthless. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter how much they're getting paid or how awesome the job is or how much fun they have. If you show up and you feel like a piece of shit, like you're not being appreciated, you're not going to show up.
Yeah, take the time to let people know the little things they do. Like, hey, I really appreciate you did that. Good job. When you least expect it, you get a little positive affirmation like that. It goes a long way. Mm-hmm. I know it does with me. So.
Yeah, one thing that I think can really get the buy-in from an employee is if they come to you and been like, hey, man, I was thinking we should put the fucking silverware over here opposed to over there. You don't just be like, no. Maybe give it a try for a shift.
Yeah.
See how it works. Because A, they might be right.
Yeah.
And B, it gives them like, hey, they fucking listened to me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And they
value my opinion.
Yeah, they were 100% right. The silverware doesn't belong over there.
Right.
You know, even if you don't move it all, move it some. And, it's just if someone comes with an idea, even if you know it's not the right idea, work it through with them.
Yeah.
See it out.
Yeah.
Let them experience
it. We'll see the aspect of it,
Yeah, or be like, well, what do you think is good about it and what do you think may not be good about it? And kind of let them kind of piece it together and,
Everyone wants to be, like, you want to have pride in what you do. And if you feel like you're helping build whatever it is you're doing, if you actually feel like you laid some bricks, it feels a lot better. You're proud at the end of the day because you're like, I'm part of that team.
Right, you're part of that team. Yeah. It's still not your business, but like, oh, hey, I'm the one who decided that we should have Mountain Dew on the draft or whatever.
And you're not just some grunt. Another number, It's true. Yeah, value, I think. You're right. Absolutely.
Okay. Harrison Hope. I can pronounce that one. Hey, guys. I was wondering what you all think about online reviews. You should have listened to an earlier episode.
It was a Yelp episode.
Do you think
Really?
they're worth spending time to gather? Do you find that they actually help your business? What are your thoughts in general on them?
Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts on that.
We all do.
Yeah, anonymity in any review, immediately I won't look at it, because if the person's not willing to put their face to their opinion, but they have the energy to go out there and berate my business, I'm talking about a negative review, then I have no value for that. Bring back that word value. There's no value in reading an anonymous review, because it could be a vendetta, there could be...
You don't never know what happened that day.
Right, that guest could have asked the world, and we told him no.
Well, it
and
could be a
then all of
preference
sudden-
thing, like you just don't like it. Like, we did everything we could to execute it how we do it.
Yeah.
You just don't like it, and that's okay.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But don't go and say, hey, this shit sucks and fucking
But overall,
blah, blah, blah.
because you guys are kind of talking about the specific bad review. Generally speaking, every restaurant has bad reviews.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
care what fucking restaurant.
Like
it
I
is,
was
it's
saying,
got a
like
bad
some
review.
people just
Yeah.
don't like it.
Right.
Like, and that's that.
But do you feel that the good reviews, based on versus those bad reviews, makes an overall, like if you go to the Speedwell's Yelp, is that an accurate number overall? Like overall, does that system work?
I can't remember the last time I looked at it, but I think out of 5, we're at like a 4.4 or something like that.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, and that's good,
Yeah.
right?
Honestly, I mean,
The-
I don't think there's even reason to even look at the Yelp. Like, you guys
Yeah.
have enough buzz on its own. Like, it
Thank you.
just...
But that's locally. Now, like, because I do travel on
Yeah.
occasion, and if I do travel, the first thing I do is I
True.
go on a Yelp and be like, well, what looks good around here?
Right. Right. And that's true. And I honestly, personally, I am just anti-Yelp, so I'm a little biased on this one. I just don't like the anonymity.
Yeah.
I don't care for people. Put it this way, and this is a real grim way to look at it, but society in general is negative. And
Yeah.
the things that motivate people are when they're upset, they're angry, they're disappointed. That's going to motivate a person to leave a review more than when they're satisfied.
Yeah.
When someone's satisfied, they've already given you their money. That's their reciprocation of the
That's
service.
true, but if that
The
were...
bad review goes
but
way longer than a good review.
that,
You know
yes.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It
Because
way-
even
it's heavy.
Because what happens when I go to Yelp, I will, kind of search the area. I'll be like, oh, this restaurant sounds interesting. I'll pull it up. I'll see what their overall rating is. Be like 4.5 or whatever. That's pretty solid. And then I go and read the negative reviews.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But I also know that, like, I can read them and go, okay, well, that guy's just being a pain in the ass. That
Yeah.
guy's,
Right.
whatever. But, it's once you start getting into the low 3s where you're like, okay, this might not be a good
Yeah.
place to eat.
That's
True.
that sounds
You know,
about right.
It's true because, right, and you grade on that curve where it's like you understand Yelp might not be the best vehicle for restaurant reviews. There is that area of, the negatives might, let's just put it this way, maybe 3 out of 5 negative reviews are biased or
Yeah.
whatever. But even then, there is a pattern.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're
Yeah.
seeing a restaurant that's 3 stars on Yelp. Yeah, sure, maybe Yelp isn't the fairest forum, but there's
What
got to
did
be
you-
a reason.
yeah,
What'd you do to get down all the way
And
to a
especially
3?
if, like, you start to then, like, read the negative reviews and be like, kitchen's dirty, kitchen's dirty, kitchen's dirty, kitchen's dirty.
Yeah,
where
there's
you're
a
like,
consistency there. where
okay,
you're
there
like,
seems to
okay,
be an underlying
Right.
thing, or like rude staff, or you can kind of
They got roaches.
yeah, they got roaches,
That'd
they
be
got
like,
roaches,
okay.
yeah.
Would you ever leave a review? You ever done it?
You know what? Yeah, but I've never left
There's
a
like
negative
400
review.
Jordans leaving reviews on Yelp for Speedwell.
Listen, I'm a very, very big advocate for if you have an issue while at a restaurant, bring it up while you're at the restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
And call it old school, but to be passive aggressive, leave unhappy, and then run home to your fucking keyboard.
That's crazy.
And then type
That's
it.
nuts.
Dude, you have the people right there. Allow them to try to fix the problem first. I've never been upset enough where I had to, after trying to have a problem resolved, whether it be a contract or a restaurant, whatever. I've never ran home and been like, I'm going to passive aggressively leave a review. I don't understand that.
I would never. I'll leave a good review. I will never leave a bad
Yes.
review.
Yeah.
Same.
You know what I mean? If it's something I don't like it, whatever, it just wasn't that. I'm not gonna say nothing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just whatever.
And that's the thing too, is like we're empathetic because we're in the restaurant
industry. Yeah, so
we'll just sit there and be like, off night, whatever, no big deal. If it's something really bad,
we know the factors and variables that go into it. If I go to a restaurant that's 2 weeks old and I'm waiting forever for service, like I get it.
It's 2 weeks old, right? Yeah,
2 weeks old. You know what I mean? Some people don't understand that. They can't wait to go to a new restaurant and slander the shit out of them because this wasn't right or they didn't have that or
I can't stand that.
And like it's like, bro,
right?
How about come back in a few months?
We just had it with Chick-fil-A here in town. It was like a 2-hour wait. It's fucking fast food.
Yeah.
Go across the parking lot. Wendy's is right there.
Right.
And it's Chick-fil-A. Like, how many people I have never had it in their life because it's a phenomenon now. Like,
right.
You know?
I get a really good fried chicken sandwich at
be.
Speedwell, and you won't have to wait fucking 2 hours.
Right.
Exactly. I capitalized on that.
And you can get a beer.
Yes, absolutely. And we're open on Sunday.
On Sunday.
I'm in the kitchen on Sunday.
Oh, fuck, I was just going to say something. Oh, well, fuck it.
I don't know.
Next question. I was going to make a point. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Anna Numi says, what is your number one goal when it comes to running your restaurant? Or in a kitchen. Just adding that for now.
Huh.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
What is your number one goal?
Oh, man.
At the restaurant. We're going to have different outlooks because I'm like executive
You're like big
now.
picture.
Yeah,
because I know like your idea outlook as like a line cook opposed to I've managed before and like that's a whole difference from like when you're a worker and then you're managing.
Yeah.
Like your outlook is totally different. The owner side, it's probably a level up from that. You know what I mean?
I think just as important concerns, just different ballpark.
Exactly.
What I mean? Yeah.
It just gets more amplified. You're just like, you know.
When I'm in the kitchen, my goal, clear the board. Clear the board.
Yeah.
I just want to clear that fucking board. I get tickets. Tickets are on the board. I just want to clear it. And that's my mission. And make sure nothing gets sent back. And that's and then jump over to dish and make sure when I get relieved at 4 o'clock, I can get the fuck out of there. That's my goal. Is it?
Management-wise, I mean, it's like, make sure your numbers are right, your orders are in, your food's consistent, and you guys aren't pissed off, but are also not doing shitty jobs. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Growing is.
You know.
Management-wise, growing. Every Monday I do my numbers. I compare it to last year's numbers weekly. And if I'm not growing, like you're gonna have a down week compared to last week. There are other things.
You're really digging in and learning. Like,
right.
I learned a lot doing a couple management stints about how it works.
Yeah.
So maybe one day I could probably own something and I get it. And some things I'm like, damn, I don't know if I want to deal with that. Or like, and then some things I'm just like, I get it. Like, but you care a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Way more.
Yeah.
Like,
you have to.
Some things I didn't think mattered before really matter. Like, you know what I mean?
So stupid, right? Things that you thought that were
things I was like, whatever.
Why's my manager?
I'm gonna go eat another burger today and whatever, and not bringing it like, you're a manager. That shit matters.
Right.
I've always been my biggest insignificant thing that drives people crazy, and we have a big staff meeting on Tuesday, so I'm gonna tell my front of the house staff this: salt and pepper shakers. I'm all about tipping points, and if my salt and pepper shakers aren't full every day, I think a customer sits at that table and they see a half full salt shaker and they're like, all right, well, that hasn't been taken care of today. What else aren't they fucking doing? And I freak out over it.
You know, it's funny is I heard a story about, everyone's heard that story about that band that wants M&Ms but not green ones.
Yeah.
And I heard a really interesting story from a management perspective, like the band manager, and it was that rider was in the contract, so when they got in there, they could look in the bowl and be like, they fucking missed that. What else did they, is the safety not right? Is the sound fucked up?
Attention
did
to
you
detail.
read the rider? That kind of
Yeah.
thing. So it's just like that instant you can look at and go, you weren't fucking listening.
Right, and picking out colored M&Ms is a pain in the ass. All I'm asking is for them to make sure that the salt and pepper shakers are clean and filled every day.
Yeah.
And it's the easiest thing when I first walk in the restaurant, sometimes 6 a.m., like today I was there at 6. First thing I do is walk around the whole dining room and I look at all the salt and pepper shakers.
Yeah, you can glance over and go, okay.
And there were two not full today.
Why didn't they get to it?
Right.
Did they miss 2?
Yeah.
What else?
You know what else I judge
to?
though? Like kind of like that though? Bathrooms.
Bathrooms. Great
it's like,
point.
if your bathrooms ain't clean,
Right.
like, that's like come on, man.
Yeah.
You go someplace, you got a fucked up bathroom.
Yep.
And
Right.
I'm like, I don't know, man.
You
But
can
that's always a thing with me. Like,
yeah.
you don't clean your bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm like, eat here, like, what else? You don't clean your fryer later.
And you're watching the staff use that bathroom, and you're like, not only are they using it, but they're using a dirty bathroom, but they're not cleaning it either.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's bathroom's a great point too.
I just feel like the place is only as good as their bathroom.
Yeah.
As weird as it sounds.
No, it's
like,
fucking
that's
true.
weird, yeah.
That's a great tipping point.
You know?
That's a really good point. I'm going to start looking at fucking bathrooms now. Fuck salt shakers.
All right, Daryl Gray says, a local restaurant owner in Baltimore confessed to me and said Groupon is killing their business. Ooh. Is that true that Groupon is a restaurant killer? What do you hate or love, or do you even use Groupon?
I think Groupon is, when it first came out, was real cutting edge, and it was a great way to take like a dead part of your season.
It'll invigorate your business. And,
yeah, but now I look at it, and it's almost like the last resort before restaurant.
Now you get El Cheapos coming in. You bring in a certain demographic of people that are just, you know.
And that's true, too. I don't know. I look at Groupon now, and I'm like, I think most restaurant people know that Groupon brings in that weird clientele, the penny pinchers. They're not going to tip well. That's going to upset your servers. Yeah. They tip on the discounted amount.
Lemon and water type people.
So I think when I start seeing a restaurant do Groupon, I'm like, uh-oh. I'm like,
so you think it's kind of like them just trying to pull it together?
I mean, how does it work? Yeah. Do you have to like pay to have the service?
Yeah, we did it at Rose Alley when I worked there. And it was early on, so they were just trying to get people in.
Yeah.
So we were trying to do that at Quahog, and they were like, "We're not doing that. Like, we don't pay them in this."
You pay. I don't know what the rate is. I can't remember. I wasn't managing at the time.
Because that seems like it's really expensive. Because if you're paying them and then you're discounting the product,
and then in turn, what you just get the
I think they get a percentage of of how many Groupons are bought. So that's how it works. So say you got 10% off Groupon, they get a 5% on top of that. So they sell the Groupon, and they get 5% of those sales.
It's promo.
So
so you're losing 15%.
15%, correct. And they'll encourage you to do. They encourage you to do a bigger discount.
I can't even front. I use Groupon sometimes, and
I
didn't even really even think.
Not so much for food,
I didn't
but like
think about it. Like
I
had tickets and stuff.
I think it works better for that than it did for when it first came out. I think a lot of restaurants were all over it, but I think it works better now for like family stuff,
events.
And
that's what
like
I use it for. Because it encourages you to do things that you don't normally do. I think I went like indoor mountain climbing one day off of Groupon. I would never do that. Never think to do that.
Right. So it kind of guides you into something.
So it was like it's something different, and it was like, oh, that's cool.
See, that's cool. That's, I think, what it's better
stuff like that.
Now.
Yeah. I don't really look out for the restaurants and stuff. You can get massages and go to the spa, whatever. Like,
whatever.
I want a massage. Just ask Jordan.
These meat puppets.
Meat puppets.
These fucking meat puppets. Dude, the hamburger helper, dude. Look at it.
All right, Becky LaFranchi.
That's a stumble.
What is your favorite interview question? I'm assuming she means for like a new potential employee.
Why do you want to work here?
That's exact. That's
why
mine.
us? And then usually they're just like, I don't know. Like we had just interviewed somebody yesterday, and I asked him, and he had like a master's degree in political science, and I'm like, why do you want to cook in my kitchen? And he's like, I don't know. I've been out of work for a year. I need a job. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the wrong answer. You know what I mean? Like, not that we're really hiring somebody like, to run the place or anything. Like, we were hiring a short order cook, but still, that's like, say something nice about the place.
That is the best thing to ask, though. Like, why do you want to work here?
Yeah.
Why do you choose here? Like,
what's your end game? What's your goal here? What do you see yourself
I'll throw in weird questions, too. Like, so what are you watching on Netflix now? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you want to, know them.
Right. Vibe them out, make sure they're not weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were talking today about, like, going right on their social media, like, Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like every company does that now.
Yeah. Before I'd be like, that's crazy. Like, when you start hiring people, like, that's the first thing you want to do.
Yep. Right.
I don't even know I'll just see the application. Oh, yeah? Type in the name. Like, so.
Especially a lot of places now you can apply right through Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
So all you got to do is, like, click, and you're there. And you're like, why the fuck is that your profile picture when you're applying for a job?
It's them blowing weed smoke into a camera.
Yeah.
But, it's legal, but
come
if
on.
that's what you're proud of, like, that's your
But this is how people perceive you nowadays. This is this is how the world works now.
Yeah.
Like, your social media is a thumbprint of you.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So it's like...
And if you don't want us to look at it...
And you might not be exactly that person you're perceived on there,
Right.
Like, you go on Instagram, you see all types of stuff, but it's like, I know that person. They don't look like that.
Yeah.
But, But that's just how the world works now. It's just it's here, and we can't change it. But perception of everything is just Facebook.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's funny. You always hear these people complaining, they're mining our data or whatever, and I'm like, it's shit you put on there.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want it out there, don't fucking put it on there.
Exactly. I'll judge you on your memes.
That's on your memes?
On your memes. Like, what type of memes you looking at?
Wait, what meme did you post last week?
Yeah, I don't like that one. Well, your memes are out of date. Nah.
When I worked for corporate retail, we had a specific list of questions.
Yeah.
Like, we
corporate's like that.
100% not allowed to be like, hey, what do you watch on Netflix? Like, that was not allowed. But my favorite question to ask was on the list was, tell me about a time that you made a mistake and how did you resolve it? Because you heard some fucked up stories.
That actually is pretty good.
Why are you telling me this? 'Cause that is not a good thing. Like, some guy's like, I was painting this house and I spilled paint like all over the place, and I managed to clean it up before anyone noticed. And I'm like, okay, don't know, like, great, you cleaned it up.
That's like wild stuff. Like something like, I don't get too comfortable here. Like, one time I was in the bathroom and I fucking OD'd and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, what?
But interviews are some of my favorite things to do.
My boy came and...
Because you're just like, what the fuck is wrong with people? I've had people drop F-bombs. I've had people answer their cell phone in the middle. Been like, ooh, 1 second. Old dude, too. Not even like...
Really?
Like, older. Hang on a second. Yeah, no, I'm in an interview, blah, blah. I want to be like, not fucking anymore.
Right.
We're good here.
Yeah.
You know what we got a lot lately is people just don't show up.
I noticed that.
It's fucking crazy. I'll book 10 interviews and
maybe
one will show up.
Yeah.
Dude, we got lucky. We had Meggie and I had 20 interviews lined up for server positions like 4 months ago, and in 2 days. So we didn't do them all in one day. It was Friday and a Monday, and 2
20?
showed up. Two out of 20 showed up, and we hired them both. They're great.
Yeah,
it couldn't have worked out better, but what the fuck?
I had a guy show up 3 hours late.
Yeah, what'd you do?
He's like, he's telling me some fucked up story about, like, it's here in Plymouth. He's like, in the bus, and I was on the wrong bus. I'm like, fucking bus? Where the hell?
There's only one bus.
Yeah, right. And he's like, I understand if you...
Dial-a-ride? Dial-a-ride. Like, you called them.
Call Uber, yeah. But he's like, I understand if you don't want to interview me. I'm like, good.
You said it, Chief. You
couldn't make it onto your interview on time. Fuck work. Yeah.
What happened to the kid the other day? He got into a car accident?
Yeah, he got rear-ended. And but you know what? He showed up. Did COS tell you what happened?
No.
Yesterday, he showed up. He was supposed to be there at 11. He showed up at 4. So what was his fucking excuse yesterday? And you know what? He used to be a bouncer over at BBC. And he fucking was supposed to work for COS one night when COS was bouncing over there. And he no-call, no-showed. And COS ended up having a cover anyway. So the dude shows up for the interview yesterday, not knowing COS was running the kitchen. He goes to introduce himself, and he goes, "Oh, what's up, dude?" You knew immediately he wasn't getting that job. Not only did you show up 5 hours late, but the guy you went to go dap up when you came in.
You left hanging.
Yeah, that is the... Just give your notice.
Yeah.
Quit like a normal person because you don't know where it's going to fucking burn you.
Dude, I love it.
That's hilarious.
COS told me that story this morning. I'm like, dude, how good did that feel? He goes, oh, dude, the guy was shaking. Like, it was fucking awesome.
That's mad fun.
Okay, here's a good one. Gopal Kamath. That's a name.
You did okay.
Yeah, all right. What's your secret sauce behind increasing restaurant sales? Any specific strategies you are implementing that are working?
That Jordan's... You're the man for that.
Marketing, man.
Jordan's marketing is the best in town.
Thanks, dude.
I'm not just trying to fucking blow smoke. Like, you really do kill it.
Thank you.
You do your thing.
You gotta stay relevant.
You have your angle, and it works.
And that's the thing, consistency, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm honest. I don't fucking try to act like we got something we don't have. The place has got a voice. I don't know if it's necessarily my voice.
It's a lot. There's things going on that, like, you stay up with current events, memes, all types of shit. Like, you know what I mean? And you post and, like, you know something's going on. You're not seeing the same ads on Facebook all the time. You're not seeing the same things in your feed. Every week it's something new. It's things going on. So you know it's popping. You know
it's become my full-time job, the marketing part, and I didn't think that would happen. And you do it too, Andy.
But it's fun. I bet it's fun, right?
Yeah, it is.
It looks like it's fun.
It's a lot of pressure sometimes, though, because when you're on a good streak
and you got a lot of good posts, and you're fucking just crushing it for like 4 or 5 days in a row, and then you're like, fuck, I have no ideas today.
I've always admired
my audience. They're gonna be so disappointed today,
and that's one of the things that I think some businesses, restaurants, and other businesses kind of forget. Like, they get very sales pitchy.
Yeah.
And Jordan, I think, does a great job of that, where it's like, it's not always a sales pitch. Sometimes, like, it's like, I fucking loved your 4th of July. Make sure you leave out milk and cookies for Captain America.
Yeah. I hope everybody did that.
Because it's just
it's America's ass,
you know what I mean?
But people are
There's been so many of them. Like, you did the season 2 of Stranger Things came out.
Stranger
Wings. And I was like, oh, shit.
But
and he had
Kofefe sauce. Trump fucked up that tweet.
Yeah.
And I made come up with a Chipotle coffee sauce called Kofefe. So I'm like, what else can fucking Kofefe be?
But people know there's a presence and there's shit going on. There's stuff's moving. So
but it's like when you're on Facebook, it's about being entertained, not being advertised.
Right.
Exactly.
So if it's entertaining, it doesn't feel like advertising, but you're still like, oh, this is funny. I'm going to share it.
Like, because some people they put up all kinds of money to boost the posts, but it's the same post they had 6 months ago.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But to know that, like, there's just something new. Like, something's happening.
You got to be relevant.
It's very tough because, like, my day job, I work for a company that is very much like, well, you know, it's all business. And it's like, I get it, but your social media feed's kind of dull.
Yeah. And you can't be dull.
No.
You gotta you gotta poke fun at yourself. You gotta just be real, man. Like, I don't know. I try to piggyback what's already being talked about. So, if there's something that's already, I guess trending is the word, right?
Yeah.
If something that's trending, like the World Cup the other day,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we had the Women's World Cup, and I was like, wow, the fucking trophy looks a lot like a chicken wing. So I took a picture of one of my chicken wings, I put it on the side of the trophy, and I said, what could go together more? You know what I mean? Like, stupid little shit like that.
And people pay companies for this. A lot of money.
Yeah. Right.
Just, like, you know what I mean? So it's... I give you a lot of credit.
It's
that.
that,
Thank you.
And that's what it. Even like some of the big companies are doing that. Like, I can't remember. There was one like fast food chain where you could be like, "Oh, roast me," and they would make fun of you. And but it's like that's what social media is. Yeah, it might have been. But
that's great.
Social media is supposed to be entertaining.
Right.
So like, if you're just advertising, you're kind of missing the boat.
Yeah,
and that boils down to like, what does the company that you're working for get that?
Right.
You know, and that's kind of the...
That's a great point, dude, the whole entertaining thing. I never even thought about it that way.
Entertainment.
You're already giving them something before they made a purchase. If you're entertaining them ahead, they're more likely to come in and support you because you've already made them laugh.
And the most important... See, I'm not even looking at it that way. I'm looking, if it's funny and it's entertaining, people want to share it and show it to their friends.
True.
And that's the goal.
It's just like the A-frames out front of, like, you know, the bars. Like Jimmy, like,
oh my
Jimmy
gosh,
goes nuts. You know what I mean? Like,
Dan Mahoney
everyone's
used to
talking about
kill
Dan Mahoney.
it.
They had chalkboard over there.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the type of shit that works. That's what
you connect because you're like, you get nothing. There's nothing that connects people more than laughing at the same joke.
Right.
I guess, you know what I mean? So when they feel like they're a part of the joke, you know, then they're more likely to come out and support.
Yeah.
And just keep you in their thoughts, even if they're not running over to Speedwell and spending money because they laughed at something I posted on social media. It's in their head. They're going to talk about it with their friends. They're going to share it, like you said. And
like, yo, did you see
I never
that?
even really thought about that. I just like, I don't know, I've always looked at it like, just be honest, and like, anytime you're pumping your chest out and saying, buy my shit, people are tending to do the opposite. They're like, they don't want to support that.
You're
You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, I'll buy whatever burger I want. You don't know shit.
You tend to... Like,
This burger's pretty okay. Come try it. You know what?
Don't fucking tell me what to do.
Yeah.
like, your personality comes through in the posts.
Right.
And I don't know why people like you.
I don't either. I still fucking don't know.
But
ask my wife.
I mean, it comes through, and it's honest, and it's genuine, and it's fun, and that's the vibe of Speedwell.
Yeah, that's what we're going for.
You know, and
Thank you.
That carries through because your feed is funny and entertaining. So
Just own editing.
just remember
You know what I mean?
when you're on Facebook and the things that you think are funny and entertaining and that your business should be projecting that same vibe.
Right.
Well, there's
you
a
know?
vibe there you can't get anywhere else, and that's honestly essentially. Back to that other question for the goal, like have your own thing.
Yeah, you gotta have a person. You gotta.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Just have your own thing. You know what I mean? And that's great. There's so many places you can go, but if everyone's their own thing, you'll be all right. You know what I mean?
What's the quote from Tommy Boy? You're not just selling auto parts. You're selling yourself.
This one comes from Mars Mayer.
That's not a real name.
It's not.
Mars,
It shouldn't be with this post.
Is he like in fucking Maroon
It
5 or
says,
something? Like,
what is the weirdest gift a regular has given you? And they sent a picture of a corn dildo.
that's just a... Is that really a dildo?
I don't know. It
just
says
a
a corn
corn.
dildo, and it looks like it's made out of plastic.
That's my worst nightmare. I hate corn, for anyone that
don't
doesn't know.
I don't think they're asking if you're requesting this. What is the weirdest gift a regular has given you?
I just can't get my eyes off that corn dildo. I don't even know what that is.
Sorry,
That could be some kid's
I'll put it
toy.
away.
Like,
Yeah, it's like a dog
What
toy,
makes-
right? That's not a corn dildo. That's like a dog toy.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Carl Heine has just made it.
Shit.
Carl.
So,
Buddy,
what
I
is
came
the-
because I thought the podcast was over.
So what's the weirdest gift a regular has given you?
Yeah, go ahead. Jump in front.
Yeah.
Carl.
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
What is the weirdest gift a regular has ever given you?
I'll be honest with you, nobody gives me anything, ever.
You've never received a gift.
Well, I mean, like disease-wise?
And he wonders why we schedule these when he can't make
got
it.
herpes. He got herpes for Valentine's Day once.
Let me see. The weirdest thing. I would say a Hawaiian shirt.
That's not weird.
That's not weird. That's
actually pretty thoughtful.
It was the only gift. It had to be one or the other.
Jeez.
What about the cardboard cutout of you?
Yeah, that wasn't really a gift. That was,
Okay, sort of a...
yeah,
Prop.
I'm not really sure what to call that. Yeah, prop.
I don't know that I can't think of a gift I've ever gotten.
No.
You know what? I have a 40-ounce liquor flask that was given to me by a regular. I mean, it's not
weird, yeah.
But, I mean, who's going to drink 40 ounces of fucking booze? And it has, like, it insults you. It has, like, the level goes down, so it'll say, like,
yeah.
you're an asshole if you don't drink this much, and whatever. Like, I don't know. I mean, it was kind of more of a novelty, a cute gift. I got a really nice fucking beer mug that I still use to this day. I've had it for, like, 6 years now. But never a corn dildo or anything like that.
Yeah.
I can't think of any gifts I got.
Yeah, good.
I had
Those
a
of you
purveyor give
listening,
me a case of wings for free. That was cool.
how about this?
It's
Challenge
expensive.
listeners of people of Plymouth. Bring gifts to Carl, Andy, myself, Nick, and yes, even
Yeah.
Fish. The weirdest fucking thing you can think of so we can talk about it and
Just
answer this
not
question
corn
next time.
dildos.
Just
Yeah,
like
corn dildo's already been taken.
I
You
feel
can't do
like
that.
you're opening up a whole
I know. I feel like
shit
we're all gonna get.
It's like,
we're
you're
gonna
like,
get
yeah,
corn
this is-
dildos thrown at us.
You're like, this is a good idea, and then like in 2 weeks
Again,
you're
it
like,
could be, like,
seriously,
zucchini
can you
dildos.
delete that episode?
Guys, I don't know what to do with all the corn dildos. Seriously, I can't even throw them away anymore.
All right, Mandy Clark. How about this guy who is actually a quote in the industry, makes me wait almost 3 weeks before he bothers to come pay me back. Looks like he left open tab. He said he personally covered it because he knew the guy, and the guy knew that this person covered his tab, and doesn't even tip him.
Wait, so he took 3 weeks to pay his tab and didn't tip,
And didn't tip.
but he paid the tab.
Yeah.
That never happens.
He says,
Yeah.
but he's also in the industry. So the question boils down to, now which way will this go? The fuck that guy, or the who cares, it's only $11. So I walk into your place, I run up a tab of $11, walk out for whatever reason. You know, you pay the $11, whatever. It takes me 3 weeks to come back. And I don't even bring you a corn dildo.
I'd be.
Depends.
I don't know. If it's $11,
I feel like it's
like,
$11 if you,
Yeah. The fact that you came back and paid it, I'd be like, oh,
Well, how many times have you walked out on a tab?
many.
You know
A
what?
few
I
times.
did it actually recently.
Just because you don't think of
Yeah.
and it's usually like a
I do
weird
that
circumstance,
main
like I'll get a beer
On
at
accident.
the
July
bar.
4th?
I can't remember what day it was.
Hell yeah.
It's usually like weird circumstance,
Kim
like
was pissed. That's all he-
Really?
like I've gotten a beer at a bar, and then like we've moved over to a table, and then like the next day I'm like, oh shit, I think I might have still had an open tab at the bar, like they didn't transfer it over or whatever.
Right.
And there was like one time I forgot my wallet, and John Luce to this day gives me shit about it. And I live so close, I'm like, I'll just go grab my wallet. I was like, no, I just paid, tomorrow, whatever.
Right.
But then you walk in, it's like, oh, you got your wallet on you?
Right. You'll never hear the end of it.
No, but it happens.
I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal. If they didn't pay the tab and they were in the industry and you see them around and you're like,
Unless you're that guy who doesn't have a wallet all the time. Who's that dude? He just got caught again, didn't
At
he?
Hillary, they call the cops and everything. Yeah, there's this fucking guy
I
going
can't believe
around
he's still out
town.
here.
He would order himself like a 3-course dinner, rack up like an $80 tab, and then at the end of the tab, he'd be like, I don't have my wallet. And he would just never, he was doing it notoriously.
So he did it
everywhere.
everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't they arrest him at Sushi Joy?
Yeah. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everywhere. I seen him do it at Sam's.
Yep. So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
$11 from an industry person.
No, there was like a buzz about it. Everyone.
Yeah.
knew.
I
was
think
on
it
that
also depends
industry
on
rant.
if you know the guy. You clearly know the guy,
Right.
We don't
So
do that shit.
is it the $11 that's griping your ass, or do
Principle.
you not like the guy?
Well, I was going to say, if the guy came back and paid the $11, whether I like him or not, at least he came back
He
and
thought
paid
about it
back.
more than
Yeah.
you did, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
3
gotta-
weeks
you
later,
gotta
I would have
give him
forgot all
that.
about it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, this one there's no name on. Sweet. One of the places I work for is looking for a POS system. What is the best system out there? We're kind of thinking of something with a tablet or iPad.
I just switched to
That's the new
Aloha
one.
like 4 years ago, and I fucking hate it. So don't do Aloha. It works, but it's expensive.
The newest one I've dealt with, which actually it's good, but it has its flaws, is Revel. They use it at co-op.
Okay.
It's all iPad based and everything, but for me, like in management wise, like you can track everything in real, like you know what I mean. Like it's, I don't
Right.
know if it's cloud based or what, but I can go on my phone and see my numbers. I can see what sold in real time. You know what I mean? What all that.
Right.
Go in your punches, like everything. I don't know.
That's awesome.
It's different.
It seems like there's more and more tech
Yeah.
out there. Like
There's
I
a
was-
lot more going on like that. Yeah.
I was hanging with Kenny from Second Wind, and whatever app they were using, he could pull up and see like every open tab at the bar.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, they use
Yeah.
Square, which is like the original tablet-based POS system.
Yeah.
And it really is crazy how it's so simple. I use it for when I do catering gigs on
Yeah.
like my iPad and my phone, and it's so simple. And you're almost like,
It's way too easy. Almost.
Yeah,
It's
too
way
easy.
too, like,
what's it
damn.
missing? Like, what am I don't understand what.
I mean, you want to go in and do counts of whatever you have left. If
Yeah.
something's about to run out, you want to change pricing, put in specials like real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, and just I can do it on my phone. I can do it on my computer.
Yeah.
The only downside is it's like the velocity of food coming in. Like the girls are right at the table. They boom, 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 send, and then they go to the next boom, boom, send. So you're getting.
Slammed in the
You
kitchen.
Yeah.
know what I mean?
yeah,
I can't hit
yeah.
a button and make food happen, but they can hit a button and just.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
And
So-
demand food.
Hey, and that's a lost art too. And this
You know
is
what I
something
mean?
I'm going to bring up at my staff meeting on Tuesday. Is this servers are becoming more of food runners than they are servers. Like they're not
Yeah.
talking to their tables. They're not creating an experience there. Get them in, get them out, bang bang, which is great for business too when you can turn over tables quick. But the kitchen gets fucking annihilated.
Yeah.
There's no delay. There's no it's just place fills up, kitchen fills up. You clear the board. You think you're all set. All those tables get up. They fill back again. Boom, board's full. Where it used to be back in the day when I started in the kitchen, you would stagger a little bit more.
Yeah.
And these new POS
Because
systems,
some of these girls, they'll take all the orders and then put them all in a
Yeah,
stack
bang,
of
bang,
tickets,
bang,
and it's
bang,
like,
yeah. I don't give a fuck. And then they sit there looking like, is that ready
But then
yet?
I'll
Is
be
that
like,
ready
okay,
yet?
when it's time for you to pick all this shit up at the same time, I'm
You-
going to
you
sit
gotta
here
get
and
all-
look at you
yeah,
and
yeah.
watch how silly you look.
But that's also part of the service. Is not just okay, your food's right and quick, but do you feel welcome?
Right.
Take a minute and shoot the shit.
I agree.
Those, and I'm sure they look at it as a volume type thing. Is like, the more tables I crank through, the more tips I get.
Right.
But if you can blow away a table and get a great tip,
They're going to come back.
Right.
yeah, they're going to come back, and B, you're not doing as many tables. You're going to not have to work as hard.
Right.
Be
It's
personable.
It is, and it's a hard stigma to kind of. It almost contradicts itself because you feel like you're doing a good job by getting people their food quick and accurately. You think that's why you're getting tipped. So you don't really think about the customer experience other than that, like the education, the getting to know, the like you said, making them feel welcome. That's the hard way.
Yeah.
That's the one that takes longer, but that's really that's where you get return people. That's
That's
how
where you get return
back.
people. That's where you get regulars. That's how you get corn dildos, Jordan.
Corn dildo. That's why I have no corn dildos. We're serving our food too quickly.
Yeah, you're not making the people feel like they can come back and give you those things.
Corn dildos.
All right.
I should have trolled on that one.
Jill Burgess. How many of you have witnessed something at work and had to go to court for being a witness? And I have a funny story.
No,
I do.
We'll kick it off, Andy, because
Well, it doesn't directly involve me being a witness. It's no surprise we run Inebriart, and we have this prize package. Every time we get to a certain number of new likes, we give away a prize package. And we were hitting, I think, 1,000 followers. So we tried to make it this huge, prize package. And we worked on it a lot. And we had donations from all sorts of people. And so we chose the winner at random. And it happened to be a bouncer that Jordan had. And so I sent Jordan this text message. Been like, hey, man, does this guy work for you? He's like, yeah, he's one of my bouncers. And I'm like, oh, can I get his contact information? And you're like, yeah, sure, why? And I'm like, you know what? Maybe you should just send it to my attorney. And Jordan got like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, no, I'm just messing with you. And he got super pissed. And he's like, yeah, he had to go to court the other day. I'm like, oh my god, man, I was just joking! I'm like, I was just making a joke. And it just happened to be a really poorly timed joke.
Yeah, that's right. I'm like, wait, where's the... I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. That's one of those things that you gotta be careful making jokes, because sometimes they're not always funny.
Just the timing,
Yeah.
It's all in the timing with jokes.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing a bouncer like throwing someone in the middle of the street and like that getting injured and man, I miss Chuck. We need to bring him back.
He's a solid dude.
Shit, man.
Yeah, I like that guy a lot.
He visits every now and then. I see him come in.
Yeah, I'd like to have him on this one day. He would have some fucking.
Oh, hell yeah.
Let me tell you.
Was he from Rose Alley too? Or?
No. He just kind of he came in through another guy that was working my door, who I fired. He said, actually, him and his buddies were there on St. Patrick's Day saying some fucked up shit. But yeah, then we got Chucky through him. But yeah.
So have you ever had, to go to court over something, legal ramifications?
Not that I can remember. So either if there even was like a threat of it, it never came to fruition. I feel like there has to be a couple close calls in there somewhere where someone threatened to make it go to court or like. There's been plenty of.
Do people sue you about food service? Like,
no, but you know what? There's that other aspect where like a fight happens at the end of the night in the bar, and then like those people are going to court or whatever, and then you become an accessory, not an accessory, but a witness or whatever. And but I've never actually had to go. There's been a couple times where I've been asked to share my surveillance footage from my camera system, which unfortunately is fluky sometimes, so I don't have like the view or whatever, and I don't have.
It seems like it always happens in the weird spot.
Yeah, it's
like you can kind of see someone's shoulder and not really everything that's going on. Yeah.
So it's been that where I've like turned in surveillance footage and stuff, but I've never actually had to physically go to court. Nothing even close. No.
Well, this one's a funny story that was sent in, and it's a picture of a stainless steel muddler.
Yep.
Am I calling that right?
Yep. Dildo.
Yeah. So. Apparently, her oldest son was doing the dishwasher, pulled out of the muddler and said, "Mom, why is this in the dishwasher? That's gross." And she says to him, "What the fuck do you think this is?" And he says, "One of those things in your dresser."
Damn.
So, not a question, just a fucking funny story.
Wow, that's fucked up. Yeah.
That.
The dildo episode. That apparently that's what we're doing.
I guess
so.
Right? This is also another picture that was sent in that I actually was going to bring this up earlier. I think it's hysterical and perfect and should be on every menu. And it's the last item on the menu. And it says, "My girlfriend is not hungry, $4.25.
Yeah, that went viral.
Add extra French fries to your entree, fried chicken wings, and
That's
fried
pretty smart.
cheese sticks." That's genius.
It is genius.
I wish I thought of it first. I got so... everyone shared it with
It's
me.
such a good idea. It's like, I can't even steal that. I can't even steal
it's
that.
like if I steal it, everyone's going to know I stole it.
Because it went viral. There was the one, too, with the kids. There was the kids menu, like, "I'm not hungry. I don't want that. I don't want anything." And it was like, "I'm not hungry" was like a hot dog. Or, "No, I don't want that" was like a grilled cheese. And it was the kids menu was... The name of every item was something a kid would say when you're trying to get your kid to eat at a restaurant.
I still feel like that's the girlfriend thing.
The girlfriend thing.
Yeah, the girlfriend thing.
My thing was always like where do you want to go eat? Oh, it doesn't really matter. How about here? Oh, no.
Yeah, right.
Okay, well, how about here? No, well, where do you want to go? It doesn't matter. Clearly fucking matters.
I try to be the one to diffuse that, you know what I mean? But sometimes that backfires.
It
I know
drives
a great place. I know tons of places we go.
Yeah.
And then...
Right.
Silent treatment. I'm like,
All right,
damn.
this one is from Jessica Bailey. After a slight fiasco today, I'm making a server's emergency kit to keep in my truck. So far, I have braces, braces, a basic first aid kit, hair ties, and hairspray. What else?
Pants, pair of pants.
Shoes.
Yeah.
Shoes are like key. Sneakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pair of pants. Like chicks, like fucking pants split. I've had that happen a couple times where employees will like, they're all wearing yoga pants now and shit. So they even lean into something sharp.
Oh,
the whole
it tears
freaking thing goes bing like an elastic band, and there they are with no pants on behind the bar. So extra pair of pants, an apron.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, an apron.
Tons of pens.
Yeah, pens, notepads, feminine products.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not in the first aid kit.
Yeah.
And sometimes that just kind of happens. Certain places I've worked at, the morning after pill would have been a nice one.
Yeah. You're right. You should add that to your first aid kit, though.
Right.
I've done a few walk of shames and I'm like, yo, I need that.
I don't think that's what she was looking for, but it is now official.
So the restaurant industry is a dark, dark place.
Yeah.
Super dark.
But that's a pretty good idea.
It's
like,
dark
do you
that it's
think,
like okay for us.
Do you think every restaurant should have a something like that? Not necessarily a first aid kit, but
survival kit.
Survival kit.
Yeah.
A go bag.
Yeah. Like
A
something
go
goes
bag.
wrong, extra pair of underwear, like when you were in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you're in kindergarten.
Yeah. That's exactly.
I would keep like tons of like fresh socks.
Socks.
Socks is so major.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially working a double, dude.
Oh.
You're like sweating in those fucking things for a whole shift. 100
Dude, I go through so
degree
many
kitchen.
socks. It's crazy.
I'm with you on that.
Jennifer Michael, opening a new restaurant. What is a training tip you wish you had known your entire career?
Training tip, huh?
That's tough, man. I don't really got one. To get someone to learn or to learn myself? I think it's to get people to
Or
learn.
just how to train,
How to
like
train.
the key to training people. I mean,
Again, most of my experience is from retail, so I'll tell you the one thing. I would get a new person, and one of the first things I would always say is, if I start talking jargon, stop me. Because it's so easy to fall into the POS system or this, that. You start talking abbreviations or lingo, and they don't want to seem stupid. So they're
So they're
like,
like, okay, you're right.
So I'm like,
you're right.
if I start talking in jargon, or I worked at Home Depot, or Home Depot lingo, and I tell you to go to the cage, and you know what the fucking cage is.
Right.
Ask me. But it also gives them that comfortable, like, oh, I can ask him things, and opens up that,
That's a great point.
I mean, when
it's so easy for people to go, sure, and then they have to walk off and find someone and be like, what's a cage? Where's the cage?
Yeah.
And then that person can be like, oh, it's RTV, and it still doesn't make any fucking sense to the person.
So I guess, don't be afraid to ask questions.
You always gotta ask questions.
Yeah.
But, you have to,
That's Jim's
almost
favorite.
give them
Ask questions.
please ask me questions.
Right.
Because I'm not a real person. I have been broken by the system, and I only function in this industry.
Right.
Because some people know and some people really don't. So when I would train in the past, I would just, hey, listen, I want to insult your intelligence, but I don't know what you know, so I'm going to tell you everything in descriptive. This is what it is.
I said that a lot too. Be like, I'm going to say this, even though I know it doesn't need to be said.
Yeah,
Right.
just so we're clear.
Show up sober for work.
Right.
That kind of.
Right.
I'm about to. Got me fucked up, man.
But it's like one of those I'm gonna say it, so in the end you can't turn around and be like, well, you never told me that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because even though they know it, they realize when they fuck up, that's their one defense. Be like,
Jim?
well, you didn't say it, couldn't do that.
Dude, working for Jim is
Yeah.
very, very. I deal with a lot of that in the beginning.
Yeah.
And some of it's I feel it's mind games. You're
Oh, yeah.
He has Jedi mind tricks, man.
Trying to feel you out.
Because
he's probably doing the same thing, but he knows you know.
But
he knows I know.
Like, yeah, exactly.
He's got to come up with better ideas.
But he's gonna throw you in there and be like, "Hey, do this." Don't make me repeat myself. I said do this. If you got any questions, ask him.
Yeah.
All right.
You just told me not to make you repeat yourself. How am I supposed to ask you questions?
Exactly. That's what I mean. So you're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So a lot of times you're in these conundrums. It's like, you don't want to just wing it because you might fuck this up.
Right.
If you fuck it up, you're going to hear it. And then you don't ask the question. Right. Or you ask him a question and it's just from like,
but if something
it's what I said. And I'm like, right. So either way, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Be like, I'll just go ask Heather.
Yeah.
I used to go down to the line, especially when I was in town, and watch him work the line. He doesn't work the line down there much anymore. Dude, it was the best seat in the house.
Yeah.
I would sit right in front of the rotisserie chicken thing and watch Jim Expo and just coach his guys, and the way he communicated with them, it was the best fucking thing. You felt the tension.
This is the thing. He's a great guy.
He's
no
he's
bullshit.
not a dick.
Yeah.
He just is direct.
Yeah,
and if there are enough direct people in this world, like...
You know where you stand with Jim Casey.
I love it.
It's like, we hang art for him.
Yeah.
And the first time we hung art, he goes, I don't like it. And I looked at him like, you're fucking 100% right. It's not right.
Yeah.
Let's make it right.
All right then.
Yep.
But it's you don't beat around the bush. Just, hey.
He doesn't have fucking time to dick around.
No passive aggressive. Just, hey, no. That's not it.
Yep.
Right.
Try again. Yeah.
And I mean, that's why he's Jim.
Yeah. He's a unique cat, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He's a blue-eyed crab.
All right.
I think that's last call.
Last call. Last call is a portion of the show where we share our final thoughts. It could be an upcoming event, anything we have on our mind. It doesn't have to necessarily pertain to what we talked about today or the restaurant industry in general. For my last call today, I really don't have anything. You know what? I want to thank the New World Tavern for hosting us today. We've recorded, this is our second episode we've recorded today at the New World Tavern. We're in the Cavern. They have live music here Friday and Saturday nights. I think sometimes, actually, Thursdays too. It's a big, open, perfect music venue.
I think they also have life drawing here twice a month.
I don't know anything about that. I used to come to the life drawing. It was like my 3-year anniversary of my first life drawing the other day. It was beautiful. But, tons of events they use in this back room. It's a great place, great restaurant. Really focus on craft beer, but they also do a lot with live music and art with Inebriart.
Yep.
And they were nice enough to let us use the Cavern today to record this awesome podcast. So thank you, New World Tavern. Yeah. Thank you very much. We'll pass over to Nick.
Nick's here. I don't know what else I got to really say. Jim, if you're listening, I only had one beer. For the record. Yeah, man. Actually, when are you putting this out? Next week?
This is going to go out like almost a month from now.
All right. Well, this is probably irrelevant, so never mind. I was talking about an event we got next week.
I do that shit all the time.
It's all good.
Mike Wisdom does it too.
Oh yeah, Mike Wisdom be like, I got this thing Thursday. He'd be like, what the fuck do you think we do?
Come see me over here.
Nah.
I just want to thank you guys.
They do run events at Malbar.
Yeah. We do events.
Yeah.
I know in the after Labor Day, we're talking about bringing a brunch around. I'm going to say it's one Sunday a month. We're going to be spinning vinyl. But we've got some things working like that. I don't know too much of what was going on, but I know the idea was Marky Mark's Funky Brunch. Shout out to Mark Marinelli.
That's awesomely terrible.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But, yeah, man. Come check me out at Speedwell and at Malabar. Everything's good. And, I don't know. Thanks for the opportunity.
No problem. Yeah, thanks, Nick.
I appreciate it, man. I'm glad we made it happen.
And for my last call, I'm just going to say please check out the other shows on the Inebriart Podcast Network. We have the Old Colony Cast podcast about everything Plymouth and surrounding areas. We just interviewed someone from the Wampanoag tribe. That should be coming out. That probably already came out. No time. When this goes up, it'll probably... Time's weird, man. Check out the Inebriart Podcast. We have a bunch of good episodes. We have almost 150 episodes up.
Holy shit. Good for
you. And we got lots more planned, lots of things going on. And we'll see you at the Hometown Throwdown at the Mayflower.
September 8th.
Yeah, Mayflower Brewing.
Might see me there.
Cool. Cooking? Like competing?
Maybe.
Nice.
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh, and just a personal thing. Probably by now, go to the Spire Performing Arts Center and check out Scallop Johansson. My scallop sculpture from the Plymouth Scallop Roll. About halfway through painting it, but I figure by the time this goes up, I should be done.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So,
Scallop Johansson.
Scallop Johansson.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Trademark. I think that's it, man.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to the Bar Talk Podcast as always. Please keep those questions coming. You can find us on Twitter at Bar Talk Cast. You can find us on Facebook at Bar Talk Cast. You can find us on Instagram at Bar Talk Cast. And you can email us at Gmail at bartalkcast@gmail.com. Please keep the questions coming. Thank you for listening once again. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Fish of Inebriate, for having us. And thanks, Nick, for joining us this time around.
No problem.
We will catch you next time. Corn dildo.
Okay, thanks for checking out the podcast. And don't forget to check out our other podcasts on the Inebriate Podcast Network. There's the Bar Talk. There's Old Colony Cast. There's, of course, the Inebriate Podcast. And our latest, Retro Redoctopus, a kind of nerd genre podcast that you can check out now, all available on our website at inebri-art.com. And pretty much available everywhere that podcasts are available, on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, all those things. And if you don't see it where you're looking, let us know. We'll try to get onto that as well. And you can also email us at inebriate@yahoo.com with your questions, complaints, and suggestions. And also, if you could take the time to rate and review us on iTunes, that would be phenomenal. That helps us get more exposure and bring more of these great podcasts to your ears. And thanks again for listening.